The Hinterkaifeck murders, Germany's most chilling unsolved crime. In the early months of 1922, a chilling mystery unfolded in rural Bavaria, Germany, on a small farmstead known as Hinterkaifeck. What would become one of the most notorious unsolved murders in German history took place here: the brutal slaughter of 6 members of the Gruber family. The farm at Hinterkaifeck was remote, nestled in the woods several kilometers from the nearest village. It was home to Andreas Gruber, a 63-year-old hardworking farmer. Alongside him lived his 72-year-old wife, Cecilia. Their widowed daughter, Victoria Gabriel, 35, also resided there with her 2 young children, 7-year-old Cecilia and 2-year-old Joseph. Victoria's husband had died in World War I, leaving her to manage the household with her family. The Grubers were known as a quiet, private family, keeping mostly to themselves, but respected within the rural community. Their farm was their livelihood, tending animals, growing crops, and living a life that was hard but steady. However, in the weeks before the murders, there were subtle signs that something was not right. Andreas reportedly told neighbors he felt watched, a strange and unsettling feeling. Some locals claimed they had seen unfamiliar footprints in the snow leading to the farm, but no one could identify them. Some tools disappeared mysteriously. The family's dog was heard barking aggressively, yet no one could find what had disturbed it. Most puzzling, the family seemed to be acting strangely. Victoria was reportedly tense and fearful in her last days. Then on the morning of March the 31st, 1922, the Gruber family was last seen alive. Days passed without any sign of life at the farm. Neighbors grew concerned as milk deliveries went uncollected and the farm animals were left hungry. The post was piling up on the doorstep. Andreas's son, Carl Gabriel, who lived nearby, decided to investigate. On April 3rd, Carl found the farmhouse locked, which was unusual as the family normally left the door open during the day. He peered through the windows but saw no movement inside. The silence was eerie. When no one answered calls or knocks, local authorities were alerted. On April 4th, police and several villagers entered the farmstead. What they discovered was horrifying. All 6 members of the Gruber family had been murdered in cold blood. Their bodies lay scattered throughout the property, in the house, in the barn, even in the woods behind the farm. Andreas and Cecilia were found in the barn, bludgeoned to death with a mattock, a large farming tool used to break up soil. Victoria, her children, and the family maid were found dead inside the home. The victims had suffered blows so brutal that their skulls were crushed. Some bodies were stacked or arranged unnaturally, suggesting a violent and frenzied attack. Even more unsettling was the discovery that the killer, or killers, had remained on the farm for several days after the murders. Neighbors reported strange noises, footsteps in the attic, lights flickering inside the house, and smoke rising from the chimney despite no one living there. A bucket of water was found on the stairs, as if someone had been cleaning. The dog, found dead in the barn, appeared to have starved for days, tied up and unable to alert anyone. The police investigation began immediately, but was plagued by confusion and errors. The crime scene was not properly secured. Critical evidence was lost or contaminated. Witness testimonies were inconsistent. One of the early suspects was Lorenz Schlittenbauer, a handyman who had worked for the Grubers and reportedly had a grudge over unpaid wages and land disputes. He claimed to have heard strange noises on the farm shortly before the murders, but denied any involvement. Another suspect was Victoria's late husband's brother, who had a history of violence and was rumored to hold a grudge against the family. However, he had an alibi and no concrete evidence linked him to the crime. There was also speculation about a stranger living in the woods nearby, a man who had recently been seen around the farm but disappeared after the murders. Despite multiple interrogations and investigations, no arrests were made. The mystery deepened as police uncovered hints of possible occult symbols drawn near the property and whispers of dark rituals. Some locals believed the murders were the result of a curse or supernatural vengeance. The community was gripped by fear and paranoia. Families locked their doors and neighbors eyed each other with suspicion. The isolated farm that had once symbolized hard work and family now represented terror and death. Over the years, the Hinterkaifeck murders inspired countless books, documentaries, and films. But the truth remained elusive. The farmstead was eventually demolished, but the mystery lingered like a ghost. Today, historians and crime experts continue to analyze the case. New theories emerge from time to time, some suggesting a disgruntled family member, others pointing to a psychopathic outsider, or even a secret that someone wanted to bury forever. What remains certain is that on that cold March night in 1922, something unimaginable happened at Hinterkaifeck. 6 innocent lives were taken in a brutal act of violence. The killer vanished without a trace, leaving behind only questions and a dark chapter in criminal history that may never be solved. The Hinterkaifeck murders remain a haunting enigma, a brutal crime frozen in time, with no justice served and no answers found. It's a chilling reminder that even in the quietest corners of the world, darkness can lurk, hidden behind locked doors and snowy fields. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's most disturbing unsolved mysteries, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thank you for listening, and stay curious, because sometimes the past holds secrets we may never fully understand.